Welcome back to All This Math. This is Professor Parker. Make sure you're subscribed to the All This Math YouTube channel. Make sure you drop a comment. Make sure you share a video. Make sure you, what else I need to tell y'all to do? Yeah, I said drop a comment in the comment section. Share the video with somebody and make sure you subscribe. That's about it. All right. So today's video is brought to you by these sisters on this t-shirt, the ancestor Harriet Tubman, Asada Shakur, who's still with us in the physical, the ancestor Fannie Lou Hamer, and the ancestor Ida B. Wells Barnett. All right. If you're not familiar with these women, please go make yourself familiar. Go do your research. All right. What is this video about? This video is about the Baltimore Ravens, more specifically Lamar Jackson and his quarterback passer rating. All right, quarterback passer rating. I know a lot of times quarterback passer rating is a number that's thrown around real loosely, and might have, if you ever wondered, like where does that number come from? I'm about to show you. Now I did another video about Lamar Jackson's quarterback passer rating like a few weeks ago, after another game. I can't remember who the Ravens was playing, but a little earlier today or tonight, the Ravens played the Cincinnati Bengals. They beat them like I want to say like 35-34 or something like that. Um, yeah, I can't really remember, but the Ravens won. Right. Now this is the formula, the algebraic formula that you can use. So I think any person that likes football, any parent, if your son or your daughter likes football, they should know how to calculate the quarterback passer rating of their favorite quarterback. If you are a Pop Warner football coach, your quarterback, you and your quarterback should know how to calculate this. If you're a high school football coach, college football coach, your quarterback should know how to calculate this, right? This is a way that we make math relevant, a way that we make algebra relevant. So when your quarterback is sitting in class, like, why I gotta learn this? When am I gonna use this in life? Let them know that they can use it to calculate their own statistics. Their own statistics. This is algebra. That's what this is. This is order of operations. This is fractions and ratios. This is decimals. This is multiplication, division. I don't know if I said that already, but this is the distributive property, right? In real time, right? Now, of course, somebody gonna say, well, why do you have to calculate this on your own? Can't you just go online and just look up the quarterback passer rating? Yes, of course you can, right? But why not learn how to do it? And also, something online might be incorrect. All right, somebody might be lying. So it's important to be able to verify statistics, especially if they're your own statistics. Like, why would you not want to do that? That's just an issue of mentality. All right, so look, this is what you do. Quarterback passer rating is equal to 5 times the number of completions divided by the number of attempts. That's a ratio, minus 0.3, right? And then you're going to add that to this, which is the number of passing yards divided by the number of attempts, minus 3, the whole number 3, not 0.3 like over here, times 0.25. So this quantity gets multiplied by 0.25. Then you add that to the number 20 times the number of touchdowns thrown divided by the number of attempts. Then you add that to the number 2.375 minus 25 times the number of interceptions divided by the attempts. Now, there's something else that you also have to include in this. If you have a number, if you end up with a value for any of these 1, 2, 3, 4 values that is negative, then you automatically change that value into a zero, right? Into a zero. Also, if you end up with a number that is greater than, I want to say 3.375, then you will have to convert that number into, you have to lessen that number, convert that into 3.375. That's what you're going to have to do. All right. So let's start throwing our numbers in. All right. So we're going to do, oh, and one more thing. Let me grab my calculator. So went and grabbed my trusty calculator and I'm back. So also, as I was saying, these values, each of these 1, 2, 3, 4 values must be between 0 and 2.375. So what happens if we do all the math and we end up with a negative number? That means you automatically increase that to 0, right? Now what happens if you do all the math, you end up with a number that's like 5.8 or something crazy like that? You automatically reduce it to 2.375. All right. So the range of these values for 1, 2, 3, 4 should be between 0 and 2.375. Just like this right here, this 2.375 right here. Between 0 and 2.375. So let's see what happens. All right, so let's first say, okay, his number of completions he had tonight was 25 divided by the number of attempts. So that's his completion, his pass completion percentage. We would do 25 divided by 33 and multiply by 100 if we wanted to convert it to a percentage. So, but we're just going to deal with the decimal for now. So we got 25 divided by 33. That's 0.75757575. All right, so that's that. And then we're going to subtract 0.3. So that's minus, make sure you hit the minus button, not the positive or negative sign button. Minus 0.3, which is 0.45757575. Then we're going to take that and multiply that by 5. Now, I'm not showing all my work on the board because all the work is in the calculator, right? So I'm doing times 5, which equals 2.2878. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to round these numbers off to 4 decimal places. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we do in trigonometry. Round numbers up. We're not doing trigonometry right now, but that's just something I like to do. I like to round my decimals off to 4 decimal places. You know, better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. You know what I'm saying? So I got 2.2879 because the 8's going to get rounded up because it's 2.28787878 and all that. So 2.2879. All right. So 2.2879, right? So this whole portion of the formula is equal to 2.2879. Then we're going to add, then we're going to do his number of yards thrown for. He passed for 290 yards, right? Joe Burrow had more yards, but they lost anyway, so it don't matter. So 290 yards divided by the number of attempts. So that's 290 divided by 33. 290 divided by 33 is 8.78787878. And then we're going to subtract this whole number 3 minus 3 equals 5.787878. So I forgot to even think about that when I got to this number. See, this number is between 0 and 2.375. It's in between our range, right? So this is cool. But 5.7879 is above 2.375. So that means we got to drop that down to 2.375. So let me say it again. When I did this calculation, right, we end up with 5.7879. That number is greater than 2.375. None of these 4 numbers that we end up calculating should be greater than 2.375. This number right here in this part of the formula. None of the numbers can be negative, right? None of the numbers can be negative if they did real poorly. You know what I'm saying? And none of the numbers can be greater than 2.375. So once in the event that you arrive at a number that's greater than 2.375, what are you supposed to do? You drop the number down to 2.375. So I just got 5.7879. That's bigger than 2.375. So I'm about to drop him down to 2.375. So that's what you do. 2.375. Oh, you know what? Hold up. Maybe I'm not. I'm tripping. I forgot about this part. I forgot it. See, we learning together. I made a mistake. This part is equal to 5.7879, but I neglected to multiply by the 0.25. You got to multiply by 0.25 first. All right, so let's see what happens when we multiply by 0.25, which is the same as 1/4. So basically, I'm just taking that number and dividing it by 4. Okay, so we cool. All right, so we don't gotta use this number because we get an actual number of 1.44. It would be 69, but then that's going to become 7. 70. All right. Now we're going to do this. Number of touchdowns thrown for divided by the number of attempts. Then we're going to take that quotient, multiplying by 20. So the touchdowns is 4. 4 divided by 33. I get 0.12121212. All right. Then I got to multiply that by 20. So that's times 20, which equals 2.4242. So that's greater than this. that's greater than this. So we got to drop it down to 2.375 because again, we calculated touchdowns was 4 divided by the number 33, multiply that by 20, we get 2.424242, which is greater than this. So also another skill that we end up employing when we're using this formula is making sure that we understand place value and making sure that we can compare decimals and we understand decimals. And it helps to make sure we know our number sense. Because you need to know that because somebody might look at this and be like, well, how you know that 2.4242 is greater than 2.375? Well, because you got to match the numbers according to the place value. So if there's a 2 in the ones place in both numbers, then those are equivalent, right? Equivalent values. But then when you go to the tens place, our number that we calculated has a 4 in the tens place, according to our calculator. This has a 3 in it. 4 is greater than 3. So we don't even got to check the hundredths place and the thousands place. We already know this number is greater than 2.375. So that's why we're going to use 2.375, right? Because we can't have a number that is greater than 2.375. All right, so now we're over here with it. Now we're dealing with interceptions. He threw 0 interceptions. So 0 divided by anything is 0. So 0 divided by 33 is 0. And then 0 times anything is 0. So 0 times 25 is 0. So then we got 2.375 minus 0, which is 2.375, right? Now, throw this in brackets, and then we're going to multiply this by 100 over 6. So first I'm going to add these up. Again, order of operations. So we practicing a lot of math skills while we talking about football, right? So we adding these up, right? So we're going to do this number plus this number plus this number plus this number. Then we're going to take that sum, multiply it by 100, and then divide by 6. Or if you want to, you can take this sum, divide it by 6, and then multiply by 100. It don't even matter. You're going to get the same result. So 2.2879 plus 1.4470 plus 2.375 plus another 2.375 equals 8.4849 times 100 over 6. Where did 100 over 6 come from? Part of the formula. It was outside. All right. So then this is just going to be, if I multiply anything by 100, all I'm doing is moving the decimal point 2 spaces to the left. Right. Now, if your child goes to a school that uses the Great Minds Eureka curriculum, what that curriculum will teach, which is different, but it's cool, it still makes sense. They teach the child to keep the decimal point in the same place and instead move the digits to the left. Right. So if you multiply by 100, we would move 2 digits to the left. So we would have 848.49. So this is going to be 848.49 divided by 6 because we multiply by 100 then divide by 6. That's the way I'm choosing to do it. So now you do that, 848.49 divided by 6. Let me see. And that equals 141.415, which we round to 0.42. So tonight, based on Lamar Jackson's performance against the Cincinnati Bengals, the second time they beat them this year, right? He had a passer rating of 141.42. And keep in mind now, let's put that into context. Keep in mind a perfect passer rating is 158.3, I believe. Yeah, that's a perfect passer rating. So he was at 141.4. So he ain't that far off. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is just a way to combine a leisurely activity that we enjoy, many of us enjoy, playing, watching, whatever, with mathematics, more specifically algebra. We're using algebra to get a better understanding of the game, right? To get a better understanding of the statistics. And I can't stress enough how important it is for actual quarterbacks to know how to calculate this, right? Because these are your statistics, right? I believe that all athletes should have an ownership of their own statistics. And in order to have a true ownership of your statistics, you have to know how to calculate your statistics. We should not be so overly reliant on just a computer that's going to tell us this or a person that's going to tell us this. No, you should know how to do the math. You should know how to do the math, right? And if you want to learn how to do the math, I'm gonna have videos on this channel. So make sure you subscribe to this channel and make sure that you know how to calculate quarterback passer rating. I will see y'all on the next video.